Angry Bears Fan Podcast, episode 89. Please hit the like button, leave a comment if you watch long enough. Um, yeah, so like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. Still growing. We're almost at 7,000 subscribers. It's crazy. At the beginning of this month, we had like 2,300, I think, 2,400. So please keep that up. But without further ado, we'll get into the Chicago Bears. We skipped last week, bye week, not much going on, but this week, a lot to talk about. I mean, everybody saw it. Bears blow the game after a piss poor effort. Basically, in the entire game, they blow it on the final play of the game on a Hail Mary. A lot of blame to go around to everybody. But who do you think it falls on the most?
I'm glad you asked me this question because I had a whole prologue that I was going to get into here, and I really wish that I was able to play the glass shattering music of Stone Cold Steve Austin, only because not because I'm angry or anything, but realistically, Matt Eberflus is now 3-16 on the road as a
I
head
got
coach
that
for the
down on
Chicago.
my notes. Yeah,
3-16. He's never won a road game on a Sunday. He is 3-16 on the road. This is his fourth game in the last 2 years that he has had over a 92% chance of winning a game late in the fourth quarter and that he has blown. If we got our asses beat, Sean, that would be one thing, right? Um, but it wasn't an ass beating. It was another heartbreaking, gut wrenching loss because of idiotic, egregious, ludicrous, annoying, just completely dumbfounding coaching decisions. And it only adds more to it that on ESPN radio, this morning with Cap and J Hood, as I was texting you earlier in the day, they had Albert Breer on, and Albert was saying that because the topic of Ben Johnson had gotten brought up in terms of being a hot, offensive coordinator name for head coach. He had job openings, job positions, stuff like that he could have went to, but he wanted one job, and this is Albert Breer is as connected as anybody is in the NFL when it comes to reporting. And he pretty much put it out there, at least made it kind of, you know, be known a little bit that Ben Johnson wanted one job, and that was the Bears' job. Ryan Poles chose to keep Matt Eberflus because the guys, quote unquote, play hard for him. But I think we're seeing over the last couple of days since this loss that that foundation is starting to crack a little bit. Your leadership council and these players and these veterans are sitting here and they are pretty much calling out coaching decisions and not just decisions, game plan in general. Cole Komet was on a podcast or he was on with Courtney Cronin talking about how, you know, maybe guys aren't taking the game seriously. They're not respecting the game. They're not doing what they need to do in practice, this, that, and the other. There's a lot of stuff going on in Hallis Hall that wasn't there. That wasn't there in the preseason. That wasn't there last year. I think if it doesn't get fixed in a hurry, Matt Eberflus is going to lose this locker room. Like you said, there's a lot of blame to go around. Caleb did not play well the first three quarters. He played great in the fourth quarter. Absolutely fantastic. Three he led three scoring drives. It was a dumb decision by Shane Waldron to hand the ball off to a fucking backup offensive lineman at the goal line while you're down. If you want to do that while you're up. If you're trying to make a statement like you're the Detroit Lions and you're up by fucking
Eberflus
20,
has to okay that, right? Like
he's gotta hear the play
we
call. He's
scored
got it.
on Roshan, like with Roshan. Like I don't understand. Like tight end touchdowns are for like when we're up by 10 points, 15, 14 points. Like
Yeah.
we were losing the game. Like what are you doing? Like
A
we
guy who has never
need
had a carry in his life at the NFL level, a backup offensive lineman
probably at any level.
who you cut, went to another team, could not play there, so you brought him back. And here's the thing: in the bye week, I don't know if Shane Waldron and the coaching staff went completely fucking brain dead, but they had 2 weeks of success leading up to that bye week, and then all of a sudden they thought they were hot shit. It's like Shane Waldron has this professional jealousy of Ben Johnson's name constantly being thrown around, and Kevin O'Connell and all these amazing play callers, and he's like, "Oh, look what I can do,"
I think it was
and
a little bit
you're a
of
numbnuts.
I think they wanted to prove Caleb was better than Jaden instead of winning the game. I
No,
think it was a little bit of
no,
that.
Matt Eberflus coaches not to lose games.
Yes,
He
I
does,
agree that.
he
I'm
coaches
just talking
fair.
about the game for the first 3 quarters when we just like weren't doing anything. Again, no boots, no screens, bunch of just straight dropbacks when they were kind of getting after him, and it was getting to him. Like this is like we say every week. It's like one-on-one stuff. You boot him out, get a completion. You know what I mean? Get another completion. Throw a short pass. Now he's feeling himself. The rush isn't getting to him too quick. Just small stuff, and to build on what
Where
you
was
said.
Cole Kmet?
Yes, we've got Cole Kmet's been doing good. We're throwing crossers to
Where were
DJ
the
Moore.
checkdowns to DeAndre Swift?
Yes, where's Roma Dunze? Why does he only play like 40% of the time? Like this just
No, here's the thing. Roma Dunze, and I agree with you. Roma Dunze has the most yards of separation amongst wide receivers over like the last like 6 weeks or
yes, he
whatever it
only
is.
plays half the time. Like I
But
don't
he's
get it.
and he's constantly the third option. He's
Yes,
not the first or second option. And Caleb doesn't have all the time in the world to always get to his third option.
yes.
And it's frustrating because the offensive line's not holding up. You know what I'm saying? The game plan is absolutely it's trash. Like I don't like I don't know, Sean.
And it feels
It's
like it
gone to
changed every week. And I guess it's just we beat up on these dumpster fire teams who are down on their luck, and like we start beating our chest. And I think that falls into a little what Cole Kmet was saying, where guys aren't taking it seriously. We got Caleb; he's a little Hollywood. We were on Hard Knocks. Bears are national news every week, win or lose.
I don't
And
even think this falls on Caleb. I don't I think it
I'm
has
not saying
nothing
it
to do
falls
with
on
Caleb
Caleb.
being
I'm
home.
saying like the coach needs to get that under control. I'm saying like the players are getting that. Like they like Caleb's
There's
popular.
no
So
accountability in that locker room.
yes,
There's none.
and this all falls back to me on polls. And I said this at the beginning of the year. I said in the offseason, a lot of people took it as me just being butthurt about Justin, and I was a little bit. But I think this is a perfect example to prove how shitty a coach Eberflus is. Justin Fields went to the Steelers and they were 4-2, and he got put back on the bench because Russ was better. But it's like we couldn't do that. Like why? Like and Eberflus had there was a stat I saw. There's 4 games the Eberflus is blown that we had an over 92% chance of winning in the fourth quarter.
I just said that at the
Oh,
beginning of the podcast.
yeah, it's like 1 in a million chance that happened, and it's just ridiculous. And that's just we can't lose that game.
Let me ask you a question, Sean. Let me ask you a question. Let me just ask you two questions real quick, right? Does Mike Tomlin, does Andy Reid, does Bill Cowher, does Bill Belichick, does Bill Parcells, does Tom Landry, do any of those legendary coaches run the ball down 12-7 with a backup offensive lineman? Do any of those coaches give up a free 13 yards to on the play before the Hail Mary and then go to the podium later and say, well, that's like the last play didn't matter. All that mattered was the last play. When you had Tony Romo on the broadcast saying you can't take the Hail Mary shot here, it's too far. You need
Yeah,
to get
and well, you
12.
saw the catch. They tipped right into the end zone. If they were 15 yards farther back, it would have tipped, and he would have been on the 15-yard line. Like,
Yeah.
you're
It's
right. I was gonna bring it up too. That was egregious. I don't know what the etiquette is, so I won't be super. But I wouldn't just give up the 15 yards. Like, at least make them earn it. Like they just gave it up. And Tyreke Stevenson he said he was cheering with Bears fans, but it looks like he
he
was
wasn't.
whatever he
He
was
wasn't.
doing, it was during a football play.
Yes.
It
And
was
that's the
during a
biggest
football
no-no.
play. Yes, like
That is the biggest no-no on a football field.
on
That
a
is the
play, and if
biggest.
you watch it, I mean, and we all have seen it. If he doesn't tip the ball, we win. He tipped the ball right to out of Byard's hand into this guy. Like
That
it's
was
just
his, yeah, it was his man. It was his
it's
man that caught it.
and it's hard. Like one play obviously doesn't lose the game, but it's just like the Hail Mary is like the exclamation point to a plethora of bad decisions in a terrible game we shouldn't even have been in the first place. The defense held up in the first half, saved us from getting blown out in a game that got flexed because we were supposed to be good. Defense saved us
Can
in the red
we
zone.
can we figure out why NFL coaches besides Detroit apparently because they just did it last week on a Hail Mary play against the Vikings when are other NFL coaches going to get it through their head that on a Hail Mary play, don't rush three,
Oh my
bring
goodness.
five?
Yes.
Like the
Especially 50
Lions
yards. If you
just
get,
did it the week before.
it's like
They just did it the week
logic,
before
especially on
and
one where
ended the
they
game.
need, like 50 yards where he can make the throw if they get it down there. It's different when it's a 100-yard, you know what I mean, an 80-yard throw. Then everybody's back because if anything
And
crazy happens. But it's like if we rush 5, he'll never even have enough time to
no,
throw a 50-yard
he won't.
pass.
And why is
And
TJ Edwards spying?
why is he in the game? Why is it Cole Kmet in? Why isn't Roma Dunze
That
out
too.
there?
Why
One
do
of
you have
them,
a
like,
quarterback spy? Why do you have a quarterback spy on a
we
Hail
want him to run.
Mary?
Exactly. Like, and why was he spying
I,
in general? He should have rushed immediately. Like, that's
I'm
that's
so
Eberflus. It was just so many things, and like I said before, to go on, it's like it came off as I was just bitter about Justin, but Poles just like as the fog is cleared, hasn't been doing an amazing job as everyone said. Everyone loves Caleb, and he made that the best trade there's ever been fucking made in the history of the NFL. It feels like, and he's been living off of that. But a lot of these moves have been questionable. They just cut Velus Jones Jr. Why did he make the team? Apparently there was offers for picks in the offseason. Like, and me and you were flabbergasted he made the team in the first place. He barely played. First play of the year, he kicks the ball, like literally done some shit we've never seen before. Almost like the 6th game he lost for us. And then we cut our fullback and then handed off to the backup center who was playing fullback. It's just like these are questionable decisions about polls. Like, and again, I think he kept Eberflus, so everything he does is on him. He had the first couple years he had a scapegoat. Anybody who followed the Bears knew that the Bears basically gave Ryan Poles a short list of like 4 guys that he could hire, and he liked Eberflus the best. I mean, even though that was his choice of the 4, we'll leave it on him that maybe all 4 of them sucked, and that was the best of the bunch.
the
But like you
opposing
said, he could
coach
have
on
had
the
Ben
opposing
Johnson.
sideline, the opposing coach on the opposing sideline, Dan Quinn, wanted that job. He interviewed for that job before Matt Eberflus, and they allowed him to get on the plane. You can't sit there and tell me that Dan Quinn wouldn't have been better than Matt Eberflus right now. Matt Nagy would be better than Matt Eberflus right now. I'm sorry. That's just my honest. At least both of them were idiots. Don't get me wrong; they both made questionable, decisions as coaches. But at least Matt Nagy won.
He didn't choke games away at the end either. We just sucked
No,
in general. Like the game plan just wasn't a good a lot of the
the
time.
the, the quarterback pick was wrong.
Yes, and in the game plan, he couldn't put a good game plan together for Mitch. But yes, he like Eberflus is choking these games away. Too afraid to step in and tell Shane Waldron, no, we're not. Like, can Roshan get it twice before we try a fucking center fullback sneak? Like, I don't want to like Roshan is
When
doing
when,
great
when
in
they
those
got to the
scenarios.
goal line, before that happened, when they got to the goal line, my first initial thought was run the ball with Roshan 4 straight times. Four
And
straight
the
times.
first play
Run
was
it.
like a fade, right? It was like a
An
fade.
RPO. Yeah, it was an
Yeah.
RPO. And if that's the case, why, if you're Matt Eberflus, why are you saying, that's when you tell Caleb, no, under no circumstances do you throw this football.
You don't
Run the
call the
ball.
RPO then. Like,
No, you don't.
I don't get like Roshan doesn't get it twice. Maybe we try to sneak it with Caleb. Then like fine, we do a fucking trick play. You know what I mean? Like if they stuffed us 3 times in a row. Like I don't know.
It's
Even then I don't like it. Like lineman touchdowns are when you're winning by 2 scores. Like that's when you fucking do a boot and throw it to the tight end.
Yeah,
Like what the
absolutely.
fuck
You're
are
doing
we
it to
doing?
rub salt in the wounds. You're not doing it to get a lead in an
Yes,
important,
yes, in a game
and
we
here's the thing,
need it.
Sean. Yeah, because really, I'm glad you brought that up in the game we needed. Because you know what? At the end of the day, now you need 11 wins to get into the playoffs. You need 11, and it's not going to happen. Do you know why you need 11? Because you just lost the tiebreaker to Washington, who's probably going to finish with 10 wins or better if they don't win the NFC East. You know damn well Philadelphia is going to be winning 10 games this year. And then you got 2 teams ahead of you in the division with Detroit and 3 teams ahead of you in the division with Detroit, Minnesota, and Green Bay. You need 11 wins. There's not 11 wins on that
And
schedule.
honestly, based the best you could do is hope to split. And right now, I don't have faith in that. I mean, the Lions are rolling. I know we always play them good.
I don't have faith they're going to win. I don't have faith they're going to win on Sunday. 3-16 on the road. And Arizona's no slouch.
I
Arizona,
I don't know.
Arizona's first in the NFC West.
Yeah, I know that, but I don't know. I feel confident against them. I guess on the road.
Fool's gold.
Yeah,
The Bears always struggle in Arizona. They got it's history.
yeah. Well, I
They
don't.
struggle in
If
Arizona.
we don't win this game, we're definitely the season's over.
It's done. It's
Yes.
over.
So we have to win this game. We have to win this one, and then we beat the
The
Pats. We should win
Patriots.
that game, and that makes us what 7-3,
No, it
seven
makes
and
us
four,
is
six and
six.
four.
Yeah, 6-4 going into divisional play
Um,
against the Packers.
and if we're a playoff team, we should be able to win 3 or 4 of those. So we'll see. That'll be a nice gauntlet. Who knows? I'm not very optimistic. Detroit is rolling. I know they just lost Aiden Hutchinson, but you're gonna have to score 30. I mean, hopefully we play good. I mean, even our defense, we're not going to hold them under 21. I don't think. I don't think that's really a reasonable thing to ask right now. How the Lions are playing, so we're going to have to score 25, 30. Packers are playing good. They play good complementary football, and their D line is beast. Like we can't block the fucking who the fuck did we just play? I can't. Redskins. We're definitely not gonna be able to block the fucking Packers front for that 7. Um, it's just all going downhill, and it's been such a wild ride. First game was disappointment, and then Caleb starting to roll, and big game in London, and it finally looked like we were putting it together. We had a bye week, and Shane Waldron came out shit the bed with a terrible game plan that didn't work. We shouldn't even have been in the game in the first place. Swift turned into a superhero late in the game. 2 big runs that basically put us in the game. Caleb a couple nice third down throws, but um, a terrible game by the offense overall. He choked and fucking fumbled on the 1 yard line. Then again, we luckily get a stop, drive on the field, score again, and then we lose on a fucking Hail Mary. It's just unforgettable shit. And it's like, this is the game we're going to look back on and be like, we choked this game away. It's like, on top of there's been, what, 2 other games besides this one we should have won too? Like, we could have won. I mean, the Texans game, looking back now, we could have won that game if we played better. All, you know, I mean, everybody a little bit better. Um, I just, I'm at a loss that game. It sucks to
It's
lose like that.
disgusting. It's a disgusting feeling.
Um,
I literally I was listening to it on the radio because I was on my way home from taking little man home, and um I looked over at Sam after the Bears scored. I'm excited. I'm pumped. You know, this, that, and the other. And I'm listening to the call with Jeff Joniak and Tom Thayer on the radio, and you can hear just Joniak in general. I mean, his heart just dropped into
deflated.
his
Yeah, I
stomach.
heard the call.
You
I
know,
wasn't
and
listening, but I heard it later.
yeah, and Tom Thayer was just like, just could not believe it. And it just, I don't know, man. It's very frustrating. It's very, just stupid coaching decisions cost us this game. And like you said, this is a game we'll be looking back on, as well as those 3 other games that he had a 92% and more chance of winning over his tenure so far. These 3-16 road games. And it's bad. It's bad look. Poles got the coach wrong. We're hoping he got the quarterback right. It seems like he got the quarterback right. We're hoping that because he'll get another chance to pick another coach. It's a foregone conclusion. He'll
You
he'll
don't
get
think
another shot.
he's gonna get fired?
No. If there's one thing the McCaskies have, it's patience in their front office. So they'll allow him to pick another coach, but he'll have a short leash after that.
I
My
don't know.
whole
I
thing
think it's
is
weird because like they hired Kevin Warren because isn't Kevin Warren his boss?
Kevin Warren's not going to do shit. Kevin Warren's a fucking mouthpiece. That's all he is. He's not.
Um,
Dude, I
and I
mean,
don't hate polls. I just think like we've been blowing a
no.
lot. People have been praising him so much because of a couple good moves, which I like. Like I said, I like the Caleb pick. It was the pick to make. Like I said, I was a fan of them taking Justin, but monetarily wise, franchise wise, runway wise, as he liked to say, I understand it. And the trade, obviously, for the first pick.
Yeah, I mean, no GM's going to be perfect. No GM's going to be
Yes.
100%. But at the same time, you know,
We all knew Eberflus wasn't it. I don't know how he couldn't
yeah,
see it.
I don't know.
We said it.
Well,
I was a bit like I said. If you were going to get rid of Justin, I thought you should go on with Eberflus. What do you need continuity for? You might as well start fresh, lick your wounds right now. You get a new quarterback, get a new coach, and be done with it. Like to not put us in this awkward situation that we're in now, where he's getting fired. Like unless we win, like 8 out of the next 10 or whatever, he's not keeping his job. I'm even then. I think we'd have to make the playoffs, and win a wild card game for him to keep his job.
Yeah, it's not looking good right now. We talked about the coaching. Let's talk a little bit about the players. Tevin Jenkins got hurt again. Braxton Jones got hurt. Avoided a major injury. We saw some snaps, some meaningful snaps from Kieran Amagaji, who struggled
He wasn't ready.
mightily. Yeah,
He was
struggled
getting
in pass
cooked.
pro. He struggled in pass pro. He
At
did
left tackle, though, I would like to see him
yeah,
out there at guard.
he did well. He did well in run blocking. He made a key block on the DeAndre Swift touchdown run. But yeah, he was not ready for pass pro reps at all. He kind of was just thrown in the mix there. Bill Murray ended up getting hurt coming in for Tevin. Then Tevin went in. Then Tevin got hurt again. I know we discussed, offensive line continuity and everything else like that. It's Tevin's not going to be re-signed at the end of this year. They need three, possibly four starters on the offensive line. I think the only one you really keep is Darnell Wright, because you just spent a first round pick on him last year.
Yeah, he hasn't been playing very well either.
So you keep Darnell Wright, because Tevin Jenkins can't stay healthy. You need four offensive linemen in the offseason. So maybe there isn't a big trade to be made. You keep those picks and you kind of just load up on offensive line talent in the draft. But unless you're spending any of that draft capital on trading for an offensive lineman that could, be a plug and play kind of guy. But offensive
yeah, but
linemen
I don't
don't
think any
normally get
rookies
traded
are
in the
going to
middle
be
of the
plug and play.
season.
So we're going to have a rookie O line. We're going to be a rebuild again.
You got to start with the trenches. What they're
Well, I
doing now
agree.
isn't working.
I don't know.
What
We're
they're
just in
doing
a
now
weird
isn't
spot
working.
now where they're going to have to.
Their offensive line is trash. I don't know who's available in free
It's
agency
going to
on the
be
offensive line.
patchwork. It's going to have to be from here on out. It's like you can get a couple guys, but we're never going to have any continuity. We can't and we've got Caleb and Keenan and DJ Moore, or maybe not Keenan next year, but there's I don't know. This is my concern is I didn't think we are ready to I thought that this is going to end up being a throwaway season. And it feels like that now. Caleb and his young quarterback play lost us a couple. I won't say lost us, just the offense was down. So, you know what I mean? If we could have put something together on offense, we would easily won some of these games.
There's one game you could say Caleb Williams lost this year, and that was the Colts game, because they had an opportunity to win in every single other game that they've been playing in.
I don't know. The Texas game, he threw a couple interceptions. He was a happy feet. I don't get it, but he's a rookie. I count I'm not really I guess he did, but what I'm saying is I knew that was going to be the case, and it's now with the bad coaching, we already had young quarterback working against us, and now we got the bad O line, and now we got the bad coaching we got to overcome too. It's just.
So what are you doing, Tyreke Stevenson, this week?
I think I'm assuming they have to. I don't know. I don't think we can sit him because we still got guys hurt. But that's my first thought. That's what I was thinking. But we can't lose this game. Is that gonna do we lose? Go into a game undermanned and against a team who likes to throw it a lot to prove a point? I don't know. Is there a story where Tom Brady sat Malcolm Butler in the Super Bowl and they lost, or the one they lost to the Eagles, I think, because he broke a rule or some shit. But I don't know. In my first mind, I did think to sit him, but I would have to see the injury report. If everybody's healthy, Gordon, Terrell Smith's going to be back, yeah, fuck it. Let him sit a game because that was egregious. I'm glad he did come out and apologize. And hey, I was feeling like him too. I'm not a player on the field, but I thought we had the game won. I was talking shit to certain people. But something does have to be done. And like you said, Komet's making comments. But again, it's why is Komet not out there for the Hail Mary? That's football 101 again. There's always some wide receiver out there for the Hail Mary, your biggest jump ball wide receiver. I really just don't get what the fuck Eberflus is doing. And then it's one thing to give up the 15 yards and but then be it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? It'd have been different if he kind of put somebody out there. You know what I mean? He made a good throw, got out of bounds, whatever. But it's him just being we gave it up, whatever, no big deal. And then he literally catches the ball on the fucking 1 yard line or one step in the end zone when Jaden barely got the ball down there. It's and Dan Quinn comes out and says, "Hey, we really needed that."
Yep.
Yeah, and it's not
and Eberflus. The one thing about Eberflus that I cannot stand, and nobody can really stand, even as any Bears fan out there, he doesn't take accountability.
He
Accountability.
throws people under the bus, which I hate.
Yeah, he
Which
blames the
I hate
players
in a
in the
head coach.
execution. He doesn't say, "Oh, my bad." You listen to Dan Campbell, the loss that they had against the Buccaneers. You listen to that press conference. He literally is the man's almost in tears, and he literally sits there and says, these guys busted their ass for me. We got better. Their coach costed them this game. That's on me. Where is that from Matt Eberflus and
Yes.
this coaching
You're
staff?
supposed
It's
to.
non-existent.
Yes, and that was my problem I hated with him. And again, to get back on Justin, is like you're supposed to be jumping in front of these arrows for the guys. And then when you get behind closed doors, you guys are watching film, you hold everyone else accountable. But we pick you the head coach, so you don't go out there and say, like, you don't go out there and say, oh, he wasn't doing this. He wasn't doing that. He was supposed to be doing this. Like, yeah, we know. We fucking watched the game. We know that, like, we understand you called the play and it wasn't executed perfectly. We understand that. But you're the head coach. You get paid the big bucks. So it's your fault when we lose. So you go up there
Yeah.
and say, I did this wrong. I did that wrong. I could have did this better. Not go in there, start telling us what individual players didn't do right. We already know they didn't do it right. And none of us think you're necessarily the reason they fucked up, but it's like you're the buck stop with you. And to hear him throw certain people under the bus and never take any accountability for the dumb, silly mistakes he made, and it's like in historic fashion we've lost some of these games, and him to make it seem like they're not such a big deal is frustrating. When football in Chicago is a big deal. Every win in the NFL does matter, and he's going to see that firsthand when he gets fired because we lost this game and the
But see,
Colts
that's the
game.
thing, Sean. Here's what gets me. Is that I don't think it's going to change, even with a new coach, because as long as Virginia McCaskey, God bless her, 100 years old, as long as the McCaskey family is running the Chicago Bears, it's going to be nothing but cookie cutter yes men coaches. They don't want a coach with personality. They could sit there and say all they want that it's Ryan Poles' decision and that it's Kevin Warren and Ryan Poles' decision, blah, 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 blah. Until that changes, I won't believe it. I will not believe it till I see it. That's the reason why they hired Matt Eberflus over Dan Quinn, because Matt Eberflus is a cookie cutter yes man.
Yeah, I guess we
When's
don't
the
need a yes man, but there are some of the coaches are quiet. Matt LaFleur is not a loud guy.
Matt
There's
LaFleur is a very passionate, fiery head coach on that sidelines. When's the last time you've seen any
I'll agree with
Bears
that.
coach
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely blew a fucking gasket?
I
Like
don't know.
just look at Hard Knocks. They wanted no swearing on Hard Knocks. You think they want their coach to be blowing up on the sideline either? No, they don't want coaches with personalities. They don't.
I guess
And
I don't
until
know.
that changes,
I mean,
you can sit there and say all you want. Oh, you don't know. You don't know. It's fucking history. It's
well, I mean, the
history.
history we had.
Dicka. We had Dicka. That's it.
What about David Wannstedt was kind of animated sometimes. That was more the time though, I guess. I think all coaches back then were. I don't I kind of agree, but I think a lot of coaches aren't very fiery or yelly like that now. So I don't like you're
Like
thinking of
who?
Andy Reid be yelling at.
And are you see Andy Reid looks like he's gonna have a fucking heart attack every time he takes the sideline
I
when
don't
something doesn't
know.
go his way. He's getting in referees' faces.
I
I
guess
have
that
not
yeah.
seen a Bears coach get in a referee's face for anything. Even when was getting his ass beat on late hits, when was Matt Eberflus running into
I
the
guess that's true.
running up
Again,
the
I don't like Matt Eberflus. I don't like Matt Eberflus. I'm just like, I guess I don't know. I'm not. Maybe I'm just not paying attention to coaches that much. Getting and yelling and screaming. Um,
it's aggravating. I just
I do agree that Eberflus does acts
oh
too nonchalant for me. I don't necessarily need to see him yelling or screaming at anybody. I guess that would be a good indication. At least give us some semblance of him caring. But he's just not the guy. He seems like a pretty good defensive coordinator. Defense played well, all that stuff. Hail Mary sucks, but that's a luck, whatever play. I hate to make it on one play. Defense played great. We should have got blown. We should have been losing like 21, 28, nothing in the first half.
yes.
And they held us down and gave us a chance to come back. And that is mostly Eberflus. But in that same fashion, his defense is known to give up big passing plays in late games that he like I don't know what he's calling. He's too full prevent or
He
what.
play because he play. Yeah, he plays. He coaches scared. He coaches to not lose the game, and not he doesn't coach to win the game. He coaches not to lose. He coaches scared,
And
and
that was a
that's why we
big
keep
game for
having this
all of
happen.
them, especially for Shane Waldron, for Caleb, for Eberflus. for everybody because in reality, we could have had Jaden Daniels and Kyle Kingsbury or one or the other or both if we wanted. And we got Caleb and Waldron and full display, a game they flex, everybody's watching, and you got shit the bed in every aspect of the
Yep.
way. Kyle Kingsbury
And now,
put on a
and the
fucking
national media is laughing at you.
yes. Kingsbury put on a clinic. You know what I mean? They did. They're running ball down our throats. Jaden Daniels take away the Hail Mary. He still had like 200 yards and no picks, and he played pretty good.
He had like
And,
280 yards without that Hail Mary. He finished for like 340 through the air
oh,
because of that Hail
shit.
Mary.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They shit on us. Luckily, we had good red zone defense, but um, they can't handle any big game, any pressure, any road. Again, it's like he crumbles the team, and I guess it's the coach, and the coach or the team is a representation of the coach, and it's like we go as he goes, and he folds in the fourth quarter, and we fold right behind him. And it's time for something new. I wasn't a fan of Eberflus. I was not a fan of keeping him if we were going to move on to Justin. It's like, who do we get now? Is Ben Johnson available in the offseason again? Is he going to want to come there after this rumor leaked out? And be like, you know what I mean? Let everyone his team know, like, oh, I wanted to be over there the whole time, even though I was here. Like, I don't know. It's weird. Um, I don't know who else will be available. I know the Texans OC, but they kind of
Bobby
had their
Slowick.
but they kind of took a step back this year. So I don't know if he'll be such a hot commodity. Bill Belichick,
I want Ben Johnson.
yeah, I'm sure
Ben
a lot of
Johnson,
people do though.
Ben
I mean,
Johnson, Ben Johnson, and Caleb Williams. That's a good mix. I like that mix because
I
at least
agree,
Ben
but
Johnson. I
are
mean,
they going to want to? Is he going to want to come here?
oh, 100%. I really feel like if the rumor is true, mind you, we don't know for certain. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But if he wanted this one job, if Ryan Poles knocks on his door and says, "Hey, do you want to come coach the Bears?" He accepts that job on the spot. He doesn't take any other interviews.
well, I
If the
hope
rumor
so.
is true, if the rumor is true.
If
Now
it's
I
not,
understand.
who do you think's an option?
They're not going Belichick. That's not
You don't
happening.
think so? I mean, he's
No,
not
it's
very
too big.
animated. I think he falls in line with what
It's
you're
it's
saying.
it's it's too big of a name, and he wants too much power. He's I know I know
He
he
said he
said
would. He
that
did. He said he didn't.
I he said he didn't.
Yes.
But I don't think him and Ryan Poles clash. Um, but if Ben Johnson is not available, you're not going to like this name. You're not going to like it. But if things fall apart for Ohio State this year, Ryan Day, um,
No.
you know what I'm
He's a
saying? Ryan
terrible. He's
Day,
not that good. And that's not even my
there's gonna
bias. I'm
be
just taking it out. They
a
lose a
couple.
lot of big
There's going to
games.
be a couple of college head coaches. Lincoln Riley's not going to be it. Lincoln Riley
No.
is no, that's not it. But realistically, Ryan Day, shit, maybe the head coach of Indiana. All he does
I
is
like
win.
him.
Google him.
No, I know what you're
You
talking
know what I'm
about.
saying?
I think it's a couple more.
Uh,
I think he'll be at like Ohio State. So, I don't know. I don't think Ryan Day gets fired from Ohio State and then fucking.
if they have three losses,
Well, I
I mean,
know that.
it
I'm
really
saying I don't think
depends.
he gets fired and then gets upgraded to the fucking
Uh,
the coach of the
you
Bears.
never know. You never know. You never
Well,
know. You never
all
know.
this being said, they should have went and got Jim Harbaugh. I think he's a culture guy. I think that's just what the Bears need. They need some fucking structure and some culture. I think for a little while, Poles and Jim Harbaugh could have got along. I think eventually Jim Harbaugh's a
If the
little
rumor is
overbearing.
true and Ben Johnson wanted the job, they should have hired Ben Johnson over Jim Harbaugh.
I don't
They
know.
should have gotten rid of Eberflus. We should have a new coach,
Yes.
a new head coach, regardless of who it is.
Yes.
At this point, I don't care who it is. It could have been the Chuck, the janitor at Hallis Hall, for all I care. Anything right now seems like it would have been an upgrade. I don't. Sean, you and I talked about it at length in the offseason. Why? Why are they keeping Eberflus? Why? Because they want to break the cycle. At least that was Ryan Poles' thing. We're gonna break the cycle. We're gonna break the cycle. Okay, well, you're an idiot because you're just repeating the cycle now. If you wanted to truly break the cycle, you bring in a head coach and a quarterback at the same time. You let the coach pick the quarterback, or at least be part of that process. Now you don't have that. I mean, granted, any coaching candidates that you may have is going to want to work with Caleb next year, absolutely. but you could have avoided that in the first place by
Because
having this
it's
be
not
year
only
one.
like we're gonna get a new if we get a new head coach, it means we're getting a new OC, we're getting a new defensive
Yes,
coordinator,
yes,
all new coaches everywhere. Like
yes.
that's just not good for the team.
No, it is
And
not.
on top of not being good for Caleb, which is the last thing we wanted to do anyway, it's just like
Yep.
we had continuity, the defense was good, and I understand they liked Eberflus, but to like again one more time bring back Justin, my boy. Um, it just doesn't make any sense if you might as well just kept everybody and broke the cycle that way. I don't like it. Just like it's not making sense. I think they're going to do that. Last year, Justin was a scapegoat. This year, it'll be Eberflus, and Poles gets to live again and get 2 or 3 more years, and then he'll be the scapegoat. But they try to pin it on one guy, and they made it seem like, again, Justin has been mediocre, and he just got benched, even though he's playing pretty good, I
Well,
thought. But
what is this? Is this
he,
year three? Is this year three of Eberflus, or is this year? Yeah, this is year
year
three, right?
three, yeah, this would be year
So
three.
so this is year three of a 4-year contract that he signed, and there's been no talks whatsoever of
Oh
an
no, he's not
extension.
getting an extension.
He's getting fired at the end of this year.
Yes,
I
and
I
like I said,
I,
unless we win a wild card game, which I don't imagine.
I am firmly on the belief now after saying that I don't think he was going to get fired. I don't, you can't. I wasn't expecting another one of these losses, and there's probably going to be another one before the end of the season. If I'm
Yeah,
being honest, there'll probably be another one. Um, he's done. His time in Chicago's done. The locker room's already starting to fracture. Um, and that's never a good sign. And that's when you know it's starting to go is when you have your own players out here questioning coaching decisions and strategy and scheme, and you
and
have to
like
have a leadership
yeah,
council
pointing
to
the
begin with,
finger. It's like
telling grown ass men, who are your bosses, who are your coaches, hey, you need to coach us harder. Like that, it's just I don't know, I don't know.
um,
I,
but
I hope we're
Bears.
singing a different tune next week, but I don't see
I
it.
hope
I
so.
think
I
they
mean,
leave.
that's what the Bears do. They kick us while we're down on the ground, and then they help us up and get us a drink. And but I think the Cardinals game will go well. I do think we're gonna win. The Dolphins fucking suck. Especially, I mean, Tua came back and played okay, but I don't think anybody's heart's in it. I know the NFL's. I was arguing with somebody. I personally thought that the NFL wouldn't let Tua come back, at least not this early. Um, but we'll see. Then we got the Pats. Drake May's probably not going to play again. They looked okay with him out there. He was moving the ball up and down the field. This has been a pretty good year. People were down on the rookie quarterbacks to start the year, and Caleb didn't play awesome against the Commanders, but he was looking up. He's having a pretty good year. Bo Nix starting to flourish. Um, Jaden Daniels obviously is top 5 MVP vote looking like,
Yeah,
and so we will see. Caleb got outdueled. Waldron got outdueled.
they got
Poles,
outcoached in
yeah,
every aspect except for defense.
yeah.
I just
But we'll close it out on that. Like, follow, subscribe. Please keep it up. Like I said, we know we skipped a week, but it was just bye week. Nothing really happened. So we just took the week off. But we will see you guys next week.
we'll see you next week.